Coming up on this week's Falcon Fever, we'll hit the water with Montevallo's fishing team, see what it takes to reel in the big ones.
And the women's soccer team goes pink during their matchup with North Georgia for breast cancer awareness.
Plus, the volleyball team falls to the nationally ranked non-conference West Florida Argonauts.
And we'll catch up with this week's featured Falcon of the Week. Falcon Fever starts now.
Hi everyone, and welcome to this week's Falcon Fever. I'm Sloan Gibby.
And I'm Savannah Kidd. Thanks so much for joining us at the home for all of your Falcon athletic news. Let's get things started with some volleyball action. The Falcons hit the road looking to rebound from their first conference loss of the season.
Until their home loss to Armstrong, the Falcons had won 10 of their last 12 matches, including a 7-match win streak. The team shook off the loss just in time for a PBC matchup against Lander last Friday, defeating the Bearcats 3-1. Senior Monty Audi led the Falcons yet again with a season-high 18 kills along with 18 digs as she posted her 7th double-double of the season. Then on Saturday, the Falcons went up against USC Aiken, but unfortunately fell to the Pacers, who outpaced the Falcons with a 3-2 win. Senior Kaylee Harvey did register a team-high win of 26 digs during the game, while sophomore Brianna Marquez posted a team-high 41 assists.
The Falcons then faced the West Florida Argonauts Tuesday night in a non-conference match and were defeated 3-0. Senior Michelle Carl led UM with 6 kills in the match, while freshman Hannah Christie registered a team-high 11 assists. The Falcons will hit the court at home their next 2 games. Their matches are set for Friday, October 11th versus Francis Marion, and on Saturday, October 12th, where they will play Southern Arc at their Dig Pink event for raising breast cancer awareness. The volleyball team has been busy off the court gathering donations for some loving dogs looking for their forever homes.
Falcon Fever reporter Marcus Sanders shows us how the volleyball team recently traded in spikes and serves for leashes and squeaky toys.
The women's volleyball team hosted the Falcons for Paws drive for members of the UM community to donate supplies for Joe Jackson Dog World. The shelter, which started in 2011, is located in Jemison and Chilton County. Unlike many animal shelters, Joe Jackson Dog World is a no-kill sanctuary. Janet Clemson adopted her dog Scout from there. She says the animal sanctuary is a great asset to the community.
Where they have, I want to say, over 25 to 30 dogs, where they've put like a water park in and just done everything for these dogs, and year-round they're just trying to get people to adopt them.
Scout's not ready,
but sometimes the dogs are not a good fit for their adopted family.
If it doesn't work out with the family for some reason, they ask the family to bring the dog back to them so they can at least take care of them.
Unfortunately, this was the case for miniature dachshund named Cookie, who was recently returned to the shelter.
Cookie came back this week after being adopted for about 7 months, and she's a sweetheart. She's a Dachshund mix, and she's looking for her forever home again.
But until that happens, the generosity of the Falcon family will make Cookie's time at the Joe Jackson Dog World a lot more fun.
Say goodbye, Cookie. Say goodbye, Cookie girl. Pretty girl. So cute.
For more information about Joe Jackson's Dog World, just search for their Facebook page. There you can also find out about weekly adoption events they host in our area. Let's switch gears and take a look at what's happening with soccer. Both the men's and women's teams are hitting the home stretch of their schedules.
Falcon Fever correspondent Sydney Fields joins us for a recap of last week's action. How's it going, Sydney?
It's going well, Savannah, thanks. The Montevallo men's and women's soccer teams hosted the Clayton State Warriors in a doubleheader last week for Faculty and Staff Appreciation Night. The women's team took varsity field first. It was a tough fight, but the Falcons did not pull through. UM began the game with a bang with a 2-0 lead for the first half and a majority of the second half, but the Lakers caught up, taking the game into overtime and eventually winning by a score of 3-2. The break between matches brought a chance for student athletes to honor professors and other campus officials for Faculty and Staff Appreciation Night. The teams gathered at midfield with the members of the university's staff that they believe have made an impact in their lives and collegiate careers. Among the faculty were honored Dr. Sherry Ford and Tiffany Wang from Communication Studies and Dr. Mike Hardig from Biology. The men's soccer team continued Wednesday doubleheader looking to turn their season around. The game was intense because for the first half neither team scored, but in the second half Clayton State's leading scorer was given a penalty kick, giving the Lakers the lead. In the end, the Lakers took the game with a score of 2-0. And this past Saturday, both teams made the trip to South Carolina for another doubleheader, this time against the Lander Bearcats. The men lost 3-1, with the first point being scored on Montevallo by a penalty kick early in the game. The Falcons later tied the score at the 59th minute, only to have the Bearcats score 2 more points back-to-back at the 60th and the 62nd minute. The women fared a little better, led by senior goalkeeper Taylor Kerr's 9 saves, but the team could have used 10 as Lander scored the only goal of the game in the 8th minute of the play, winning 1-0. Up next for Falcons, both teams are facing doubleheaders for the next week as their schedules start to wind down. As of showtime, both teams are getting ready to take on North Georgia here at home on the varsity field. The women's team will be playing their annual Think Pink game as they support Breast Cancer Awareness Month. Hats and t-shirts and other merchandise will be on sale as the team sports their pink uniforms. Then the Falcons hit up the road October 12th and 16th for doubleheaders against Flagler and Georgia Southwestern, and that's a look at this week's soccer.
Thanks, Sydney. Switching gears to basketball, the women's basketball team will have some new faces on the sidelines this year, including new assistant coach Manisha Redis, a graduate of the University of Alabama. Coach Redis came to after a 2-season stint at West Alabama. So what drew her to Montevallo? She says it was seeing UM's basketball team in action.
I was previously at West Alabama and we played Montevallo last year, and just kind of seeing the dynamic of the team and just the system that Coach Hilbrick runs. It was something I felt like I'd be a good fit to come in and help, and definitely something I wanted to be a part of.
A former student athlete in her own right, Coach Redis says she hopes her own experiences will be helpful to her players both on and off the court.
Both the men's and women's basketball teams are ready to tip off their seasons with Midnight Madness.
And the most exciting part about this year's event is the return of UM's mascot, Freddie the Falcon. Midnight Madness is next Thursday, October 17th. Everyone is invited to fill the bleachers in Trustmark Arena. But even though it's called Midnight Madness, the festivities start at 7 p.m. If you go, be sure to tag Falcon Fever in any pictures or videos that you take on social media. And if you do, we'll be sure to share them with all of our fans. And a special programming note for next week, instead of our usual Wednesday show, we'll be airing a live Falcon Fever next Thursday night at Midnight Madness. We'll post more details on social media pages next week.
Now it's time to head out to the links for some golf news. A men's golf alum is showing that his success didn't end with graduation. Falcon alum Torrey Coughlin recently won the Alabama Mid-Amateur Championship. The tournament was held at the Canebrake Club in Athens, Georgia. Coughlin turned an 11-under par card, giving him a one-shot win over Dothan's Matt Johnson. With the win, Coughlin will now prepare for the U.S. Mid-Amateur Tournament on Saturday, October 12th. A native of Saskatoon, Canada, Coughlin serves as a caddy at the Shoal Creek Golf Course. Falcon Fever gained the rare chance this weekend to tag along with an exclusive collegiate organization. We hit the water to join UM Fishing Team in the Fish Live Collegiate Tour. 12 members, led by President Joseph Fuller, cast their reels to take home second place overall in the tournament. The team set off on Lay Lake in Shelby County, Alabama Saturday morning to cast their reels in high hopes of big fish. Fuller and partner freshman Travis King caught 3 fish in under 5 minutes, with all 3 having a combined weight of 9 pounds. In all, the team caught 5 fish during the tournament, with a total weight being just under 12 pounds, with the largest fish tipping the scales at 3.5 pounds. If you want to catch the fishing team in action, the next tournament takes place next month at the South Alabama Series.
This brings us to our Player of the Week. And this week, we're shining the spotlight on Joseph Fuller.
As I said earlier, Joseph is the president of the UM Fishing Team. Our executive producer, Bruce Finkley, caught up with Joseph today and tells us more about the exciting things happening with the team.
We're here at the University Lake with Joseph Fuller, the president of Montevallo's fishing team. Joseph, congratulations on being selected as our player of the week.
Oh, thank you.
So you guys were just in a major tournament this past weekend. Tell us a little bit about that.
Yeah, it was the Fish Life Collegiate Series. They're hosted right out of here in Alabama, kind of local tournaments designated for Alabama, so schools like UAB, Alabama, Auburn, Montevallo can, stay up to speed on fishing year-round on these current lakes we're on.
That's awesome. I've fished out on Lay Lake before. I know there's some good fishing out there. So the fishing team is kind of like Montevallo's hidden gem of sports. We don't see a whole lot about you guys. So tell us just a little bit about the team and who's on it.
Well, we have just gotten a lot of new freshman guys on the team. There's actually 15 of us now, and it's the largest it's ever been. And it started back in 2008 with Clinton Davis, who started the team, and he's gone on to be pro now. And like you said, it's a hidden treasure. I mean, there's 300 schools nationwide that have teams, and we're ranked 25th in the nation currently. So,
and we were looking at the rankings before we came out here, and you guys are up there with big name schools. So for Montevallo to be in the top 25 is pretty incredible. So let's talk a little bit more about you. How did you get involved with fishing?
Well, about 4 years ago, when I first came to school here, I'd heard about it and I wasn't that interested in it. I was like, wow, collegiate fishing, that just sounds so weird, But a buddy of mine told me, he's like, give it a try. Go to a meeting and check it out. So I went and I just started loving it. I mean, you get to fish all over the nation. You get to be on TV. You get to have sponsors. You get free gear. And it's been a great experience.
So who are a couple of the sponsors for Montevallo's team?
Well, Simmons Sporting Goods, based out of Bessemer, Alabama. They're one of our big sponsors. They give us free bait and money for our tournaments. Mark Sporting Goods helps us out. JD's Furniture Warehouse here in Montevallo. They just started sponsoring us, and they're doing a lot for us. You have Lou's Reels, Costa Sunglasses. They just picked us up and are doing a lot for us. Ranger Boats, Yamaha Outboards. So
tell us a little bit about what's next for you with the team and where you guys will be competing next.
Well, we're kind of gearing up for our fall series coming in November. It'll be on Logan Martin. So we're getting ready. We're fishing the lake, trying to see what the fish are. They're in transition mode right now, so we're trying to adjust to that, what they're going through. And then we're looking to January. We'll head down to probably Florida for a week for a regional qualifier for the national championship.
Okay. And I can't get away with interviewing a fishing guy without asking this question. What's the biggest fish you've ever caught?
Probably about a 7-pound bass down in Florida this past January.
And so how long is a 7-pound bass?
Well, it's about 26, 28 inches.
Of course, it was this long. It was a monster fish.
Yeah.
Joseph, thanks so much for coming out here and meeting with us, and congratulations on being selected as our Falcon Fever Player of the Week.
Thank you.
Congrats again to Joseph and the team for their second place finish in the Fish Life Collegiate Tour. If you'd like to nominate an athlete for Player of the Week, send us your suggestion on Facebook or Twitter.
Now it's time for our Falcon Fever Fan of the Week.
This week's fan is DeAnna Smith.
DeAnna is the Vice President of Business Affairs and the Treasurer here at She loves Montevallo athletics and interacts with us on social media. Thanks for all you do, DeAnna, and thanks for watching Falcon Fever. Remember, there's always more Falcon Fever on YouTube and social media.
To see every episode of Falcon Fever, including extended interviews with players and coaches, just subscribe to the Montevallo For You YouTube channel.
Friend us on Facebook for more stories and pictures from various sporting events. If you go to a Falcons game, take a picture and tag us in it on Facebook, and we'll share it with the rest of our Falcon Fever viewers. And we just might use it on our next show.
Also, be sure to follow us on Twitter for the latest Falcons news and posts from your favorite athletics. Just search for Falcon Fever.
You can also follow us on Instagram to see pictures from athletic events and a behind-the-scenes look at what it takes to make this show happen each week.
And last but not least, you can get extended sports coverage on MontevallоFalcons.com. There you'll find schedules, team rosters, live stats, and more. Well, that's all the time we have for this week's show.
Thanks so much for joining us, and be sure to tune in again next week for our live coverage at Midnight Madness. We'll see you soon.